What's up, guys?
Hey, guys.
Robin and Melissa here with Flip Market Flipper. We've got a great topic tonight. Super excited to talk to you guys.
Happy Monday night.
Happy Monday. The weekend is over. Start the week off.
Yeah.
We're excited.
Jumpstart your week off with
That's
flipping.
it. Sorry, I got something on my eye and it's hurting.
Did you get it?
I think so.
Are you sure?
I think so. So check it out. Hopefully you guys had a good week over the last week. We did decent. I think we sold 3 or 4 items, totaling close to $1,000. Not bad. One item carried it all. We sold a cooktop for $720 and then a couple $1,500 items. Yeah.
That was from the 30-day road trip.
30-day road trip that we did. Picked it up for $40, sold it for $720. So killer flip. We love those.
Offer up that you picked that, right?
Yep, I believe so. Could have been Facebook Marketplace. Don't hold me to it. It was either OfferUp or Facebook Marketplace.
But it was up in another state when we were driving, and we had to go pick it up right after breakfast.
Yep.
Like, all right, we got to go pick up this item. We met this lady somewhere. I don't know what state we were in.
At a McDonald's.
I feel like we were in Indiana or Wisconsin somewhere.
Could have been.
But yeah, we met her, and yeah, we picked it up for $40 and flipped it for $720.
Yep, and it was on a couple weeks. I think in 2 or 3 weeks I had it listed. So yeah, killer deal. Made some good money.
Shipping that out tomorrow.
Yep, we got it packaged up tonight. That's what I just got done doing just a little while ago. So just got back to the house to do this live. So
yeah, so we can hop on. And
excited!
And we're going to talk about how to prevent returns on eBay tonight. So
10 tips, not just how to prevent them, but 10 tips.
10 tips to help you prevent returns. So
Becca
says hi.
What's going on, Becca?
Hey,
and
Becca.
If you stick with these tips, guys, check it out. This will be amazing for your business if you follow these tips for sure.
Yeah, Linda says hi. Hi, Linda.
What's up, Linda?
Glad to have you guys on tonight. Thanks for spending some time with us. So we love to hop on here. I had something else I was thinking about. I don't remember.
Cool.
How's your eye?
It's all right.
You got it out of there?
I think so.
Got something in his eye. I don't know why our camera keeps doing this focusing thing. We might have to check it out what's going on. But sorry if it's refocusing. But anyways.
Sweet. All right, let's dive into it.
All right. As always, if you guys have questions, just throw them into the comments, and we'll get to them kind of as we go. And if we miss them, we'll come back to them.
Yep.
So
there's no stupid question, guys. Yeah. We want to answer your question. We want to help you grow in your business. So please ask questions while we're doing this. Trust me, there's nobody's going to laugh at you. This is a great place to be able to come on and ask questions. We want to help you get to whatever your question is. We want to get it answered for you so you can grow in your business. Hey,
Renee.
What's up, Renee?
And Bo and Teresa. Awesome.
What's going on, guys?
Catherine. Hey. Awesome, guys. All right. So number one tip to help avoid returns on eBay, have a clear return policy on eBay.
Huge. You guys want to have this so the buyer does know. If they don't know and try to give you a return, you have it in your description or your return policy. You already have the expectation made out. So you can hold them to that. They have to abide by that. If it does go to eBay, if they open a case or something like that, they can see that you have a clear return policy.
Whether you accept returns, it's some categories that still let you do 14 days, but most of them are 30 to 60 days. So if you do accept that, or if you don't accept returns, you can still not accept returns, and that's okay. And that's what we mostly do for all of our items. More if I list some clothing or shoes, I'll sometimes have a special return policy. But other than that, most of our stuff's no returns.
Exactly.
So, but having a clear return policy, so when it's coming back to you, if somebody has a question, then they know. If you don't have a return policy and somebody just has buyer's remorse, they can't return the item unless you have that in your listing.
Exactly.
So I don't know if you want to elaborate on that.
No, that's it. That's it. You definitely want that clear return policy, whatever it is. Like Melissa said, 30 days, 14 days, or no returns. We do not do returns. We don't like returns. We've tried to dabble with it in the past, but I like to know when I sell something that it's sold. I do not want something to come back in 30 days and we have to give a refund for it. So that's why we stick with the no returns.
Yeah. My mom says she likes your haircut.
Woo-hoo!
Hi, Mom.
Got the new haircut and the new goatee going. So
awesome. All right. Number 2, accurate info in your listing.
That's right. You want to be accurate. This will save you a lot of heartache, a lot of problems. You want to be 100% accurate. That means give a good description of the item. Tell if the item has scratches, scuffs, scrapes. We tell that on almost all of our items are used. And if they're not used, they come from the flea market new. And I still say that. Please expect scratches, scuffs, scrapes on our items. You want the buyer to have the right expectations when they're getting that item. So that you want to be 100% accurate, please. That's very, very important part with this return.
You don't want to overpromise and underdeliver,
Exactly.
because then you will get a return or get negative feedback. So you always want them to get the item in better condition than they thought they were getting.
Yep.
So Catherine had a question: is how do you determine what is a good investment versus not a good investment? Like when you're looking for items.
Yeah, when I find an item, I do the research on it. So we will jump in, check out Google, check out eBay, see what the item is listed for and what is it selling for.
Yeah, what it's sold for is really important.
That's all your due diligence on the item. So yeah, anytime you find an item that might be out there and you think it might be a good idea, a good investment, jump in and do the research. Jump in and see what it's selling for on eBay, what it sold for, like I said, what it sold for. And if you can't find that information, jump into Google, see if you can find something on Google with a retail or somebody who's got one listed for another platform that's used or whatever it is. So you just want to do research before you buy an item.
Yeah. So this one kind of goes along with accurate info in the listings.
Yep.
Is number 3, make sure you take good photographs. So detailed photographs.
Exactly. And this is a big one too, because a lot of people are tempted just to throw 1, 2, 3 photographs up in eBay when you're trying to sell something. That's a no-no. If you can get away with doing 10 or 12, eBay will allow you to do up to 12 photographs. No matter what it is, you really want to have 10 to 12
Many
photographs.
as you can.
And you want to get close-ups. You want to get close-ups of all the all the imperfections. You want people to see those before they buy the item, because you have to remember this is being bought sight unseen. They don't know other than what you're giving them pictures of, so their expectations are going to be high if you're not showing them every single piece of that item. You want to get good pictures. Like I said, I won't list anything without 10 to 12 pictures, typically on all of our listings, just so people have a good expectation of what they're getting.
And if there's anything that's kind of major or even minor, dense or whatever, take a picture of it and show it to them.
Yep.
You want them to know. You don't want them to not know that it was there.
Exactly.
When they get the item. So.
These go hand in hand with the description. You want to have in the description their scratches, scrapes. You want to show them in the pictures their scratches and scrapes. If there are those, you want to try and find those. Like I said, you definitely want to underpromise and overdeliver on the item. You want the people to be happy when they get the item.
Yeah. And at first you might be like, oh, what if this causes me not to have a sale? Well, it's better to not sell it and not get a return, not sell it right away and not get a return right away, and sell it to somebody who knows what they're getting, and then have a good sale, have positive feedback, than to not.
Yeah, for sure.
Jody asked, I saw an item once the seller stated they had the right to refuse sales to buyers with negative feedback. Is this allowed?
Wait, read it one more time. I saw
the buyer has can they refuse the sale to a buyer with negative feedback?
Yes, you can actually go into your I don't know what it's called. You can go in and set buyer restrictions on your auctions or your buy now prices, that you do not allow any buyer to bid on it with I think it's under 10 feedback or negative feedback. Yeah. You can put those stipulations on the item.
So they can't even place a bid, or they can't win your auction. So.
Exactly. And you can do that, to where they can't even bid on it. But if you don't do that and you put that in your descriptions or your terms and conditions, yes, you have the right to cancel any bid on your item, especially if you write it in your description.
And you read that they've had some not good transactions.
Exactly.
You don't want to deal with them.
100% have that right as a seller to do any of that stuff that you want to do. Set it up before, or if you see somebody with a negative feedback and you don't think they're going to go through the deal, cancel their bid on the auction for sure.
We used to not let people under 10 feedback buy our items, but we took that off now.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of new people on eBay, especially with everything going on. So as long as
I give people the benefit of the doubt. If you have a bad sale and somebody doesn't go through with it, it is what it is. Relist it. So like I said, I'd rather give the people the benefit of the doubt. So I've taken. We just sold something yesterday with 0 feedback, and they paid for it. So it's not a big deal.
They paid for it. They're not trying to go outside of eBay, because you're not going to go outside of eBay. Yeah. Then you got the money.
That's it. Yeah. That's it. So yeah, I wouldn't do it personally. We don't do it. We don't put stipulations on it. So I still want to give people. There's all kinds of circumstances that are around other sellers or buyers, so you don't know legitly if they deserved the feedback that they got. You don't know any of that stuff. So like I said, if it's a bad experience for me when I have it, then I'll leave negative feedback, and then you just relist it, get it sold to somebody else. So not a huge ordeal. It's just a little bit more of a headache, but still, I'd rather give people the benefit of the doubt.
All right, number 4, have solid terms and conditions.
Huge terms and conditions. We've done this for over 20 years, guys. We have pretty much ironclad terms and conditions. I feel like they are. So every situation that I've dealt with, every return or every
revise the terms
exactly
and conditions.
Everything we've ever dealt with, I put them in our terms and conditions. So for the next problem that I have that comes up, we have the terms and conditions there. So yeah, if you can do a very clear terms and conditions, we put it underneath our descriptions of what we what we expect out of the buyer. And then at the bottom of it, we write, don't bid on this item if you do not agree with these terms and conditions. So yeah, that you want a clear listing terms and conditions. And that might be anywhere from, what you expect on returns. That's where I actually go into detail. If I do allow a return for some reason, the buyer is responsible for shipping to and from them back to me. So it's just little things like that you add into your own terms and conditions. That's what we have done just through all of our years of experience. We've piled all those into. Mine is like, I don't even know, 15 paragraphs, or that have like 3 sentences a paragraph. 15 of those that are statements that I just don't want to deal with in the future, that I've dealt with in the past. So we've actually put it in, and that's how we do it.
Yeah. Somebody asked, what do you recommend, Shopify or eBay for drop shipping?
We don't do drop shipping, so I can't give you great advice on it. Our business model is to buy used items. We buy them at we try and get them as cheap as we can, and then they have to have high profits on them. So we want to make a lot of money on single items is what our model is. So drop shipping is more of making pennies typically on items.
On high volume.
Yeah.
So
and
we haven't really.
We haven't experimented with that business. We love what we do. I think last year we had like 70 or 80 sales for the whole year. So we don't do a lot of sales, but we do higher profit sales.
All right, number 5. So when creating a listing, add in sold it as is, no returns if you don't accept returns. So, or your return policy, make sure you add that in the description.
Yep, and very, very important. If it is an item that you are unable to test, or you're only able to test so much of the item, make sure you put item is sold as is. You want people to have that understanding. And typically, if you can't test it all the way, there's categories that you can list the item in. New, other, used, for parts or repair. If you're unable to test any of it and you don't want to have problems with the buyer trying to give a return, list it with for parts or repair, because you can't honestly check the item full functionality. So you definitely don't want to list it as it's a used item in working condition. So you want to do that, and that will bypass a lot of problems with buyers trying to get it and say, hey, it's not working. It's not as described. Right. So yeah, just think about that as well. So
sorry, I was trying to read this. Did you mention it for parts? If it is for parts?
Yes, okay. Parts and repair.
Number 6, when you have a return, get the info from the buyer and call eBay.
Yep.
So this is really big. You want to get as much information from the buyer before you start this return process. So.
Exactly. Yeah, you want to get dialogue going with the buyer. So the buyer just emails you and say, hey, I want to return this. Yeah. Send them back and say, hey, I'm sorry you're having a problem with this item. Can you tell me a little bit more about what the problem is? And make them, tell you, hey, I got it, and when I opened the box, it was damaged. Okay, well, that's a shipping problem. That's not my problem. But I say that. You don't tell them that. But when they write that back to you, you say, oh, I'm so sorry you had this problem with this. I'll contact the carrier right now and set up a pickup for you so they can come back and pick up the item. And then we'll go ahead and get the insurance filled out so you can get your money back through the insurance. It's not my fault if the insurance company, if the carrier damaged the item, but you just want to get a dialogue going, a very polite dialogue. Don't ever jump onto people and be upset with them right off the get-go. You want to open up and be as nice as you can to them so you can get a good dialogue going to where when you have to call eBay, or if you have to call eBay, eBay can see you've done everything in your power to make them happy and give them a good experience. You want eBay to see that through your messages back and forth.
Yeah. All right, where are we? Number 7. Make sure all your items are insured before you ship them.
Always insure items, guys. That's what we tell all of our students. You definitely want to. It's so worth it to pay the extra, whatever it is, $1 to $7, depending on the price of the item. You always want to get insurance on the item. You just don't know if it's lost. You don't know if they're going to damage it. And yeah, it does happen with carriers all the time. So you always want to pay that little bit extra for insurance.
Like I said, I just asked, could you create a separate playlist with the live sessions, please? Yes, I can add that to YouTube. We're just starting to get our YouTube channel more organized, so we can create another playlist for those. Awesome. Number 8, so getting photos of the packaging.
This is huge too.
With number 7.
You don't think about this, but this is huge too. When you are packaging an item up, for us, it's a lot more. I just did that cooktop that I told you about. Every stage of that packaging, I took one picture. So, and I did this more of a how-to video when I was doing this cooktop. But the majority of the time, if I'm not doing a how-to video, I want to get at least 4 or 5 pictures of the different stages of the packaging. So when you're wrapping the item with bubble wrap, you get it all wrapped how it's supposed to be. You want to take a picture of that. When you set it into the box and you see that it's nice and tight in there, so it can't jiggle around, you want to get a picture of that. When the box is all taped up and all that stuff done and you get a full picture of that, you want to have proof. If you do have to go after one of the carriers for the insurance, you want to have proof that you did everything right properly. So the item was packaged properly for that insurance that you paid for. So yeah, you definitely want to have proof. You don't want to leave it up to them to get the item, because the problem is once it goes to the buyer, it's different for UPS and FedEx than a freight carrier. But when FedEx or UPS or even USPS delivers it to the buyer, they're going to have it for a couple days before you can get anything done. That's just how it works. They could throw away some of your packaging material, throw away the box, and if that happens, the carrier is not going to they're not going to give you the insurance claim. They're not going to side in your favor because you can't prove how it was packaged unless you have your pictures and you can show them before it left my facility, it was packaged properly. So you definitely always want to have a paper trail pretty much of how it was packaged, all that kind of stuff.
You don't have to keep those pictures
forever,
not forever. You know, keep them for however 60 days and until whenever it's time to pass and you can delete them. And I try to keep everything in a separate folder so that we have, you know, shipping pictures or whatever pictures that we need. They're all in a separate folder. So you can get them easily if you need to. We haven't had to use them very often, but when you do need them, you have them.
Yep.
So, all right. Number 9, keep good communication with your buyer.
Always be messaging your buyer. Like I said, that's not just for you and the buyer. That's for eBay to have a paper trail of your conversations, all that kind of stuff. I can't tell you how many people have emailed me and told me, hey, I want to I want to get a return for this item. You start a dialogue with them. I can remember one offhand. I sold a blower or a leaf vacuum to somebody. Very, very expensive. I think it was like $21 or $2,400. The guy got it. He started changing out parts on it, said it wasn't working. So he started changing parts. Well, he wrote that to me through eBay. And right away I stopped and said, listen, you should have told me when you had a problem with it when it got there. Once you start taking off the parts that were on it, I can't give you any. You're not responsible for a return if they alter the item. So that's the kind of thing where people give you information and you're having a good dialogue with them. They screw themselves by saying some of the information that they do. They don't know that they do that, but they do that. So in this case of the one that I'm talking to you about, I didn't have to give the guy the return because he altered the original item without telling me beforehand. So in that case, we didn't have to give the return, but you always want to keep a good dialogue no matter what. Even like I said, be polite with them. If they do have a problem, tell them, make them think that your number one goal is to make them happy. And then once you start getting the information, that's when you can call eBay and say, listen, do they have a case here? What do I need to do in this instance? And you can go further with it.
Yeah. What was the one that you had that you asked the guy for pictures and he sent you pictures and it was he had changed, like he had his own straps and then the wheel was bent, but you said he had dropped it. Yeah. And so, but he had sent you pictures and the pictures were not right when it was coming off the pallet. They were of his own thing, right?
That was the same thing. That was a freight shipment, and he actually was a heavier item than I'm sure he expected. So he dropped it and then put straps back onto the pallet. His own straps. They weren't the straps that I had. Yeah.
So we send our stuff with our straps.
So he told me he wanted to keep it, but he wanted me to give him a return because of the issues. And I emailed back.
Broken wheel or something, right?
Well, it wasn't a wheel. It was a cooktop. So it was a leg was bent in. And it was all caused by him. And I told him, listen, which is in our terms and conditions also. When you picked this up, because he actually picked it up from a terminal, I said, when you picked this up, you had to notify if this packaging was damaged, and it was major damage to it. I said you had to notify that. They would have notified it on the shipping label, or you had to tell them ahead of time, hey, this is damaged. There's boards broken. The item inside is going to be damaged. And he never did any of that stuff.
Don't they have to sign off an inspection or something?
Yeah, well, they have to sign off if they picked it up, but they're agreeing that it's in the good condition from the outside. So that is what happened, and we didn't have to pay any more money because I knew he was the one who dropped it and damaged it, but he was trying to get me to cover that for him. And it was all about, I took pictures of it before I shipped it. You could see what kind of condition it was in, and then he sent me other pictures that I could tell he altered the item. And so, we didn't have to give any money back on that as well.
Yeah. Do you have to use 2 inches on each side of on each side, even if the small items like a bread maker?
That's typically what UPS and FedEx require. It's 2 to 3 inches. So and for something like a bread maker, to be honest with you, I would wrap it one direction with the larger bubble wraps. Don't use the small bubbles because they're very thin. They're thinner than the large ones. But I would wrap it twice with the larger bubbles, both one direction that way and then the other opposite direction. So really in some places it's getting double padding on it. But if you do that, take pictures of that, and then it's in a box that doesn't jiggle around, yeah, you'll be covered. As long as the whole bread maker is covered with the bubbles. And if the box is a little bit bigger, I would throw some peanuts in it as well.
Don't let it move around.
No, you do not want it to move. You always want it to be solid inside the box. So,
last one.
Sweet.
Number 10. Take advantage of the partial refund policy too. So that's an option.
Yes,
So,
if you have a buyer who has an issue and it's not fully damaged, and Melissa just had this happen with one of the sales 2 or 3 weeks ago.
it was
Yeah, you don't
ornaments.
have to give a full refund, and try to talk it out with your buyer. If there's something small that can be fixed, try to talk to them and tell them, hey, I'm so sorry they're having this issue. Is there a way that this can get fixed locally? Or, whatever the deal is, if you know how to get it fixed locally, you tell them, hey, would you be willing to go pick up this part and I can give you a little bit of money back? Always try to negotiate that with the seller before having them ship it back to you. If you do accept returns, there's always other ways around it without doing that. So take advantage of that. The partial refund, you definitely want to use that.
Yeah, sometimes they might just have to go get a part or go get, like in my instance, two of the 4 were broken. So we did a partial refund for the 2.
Yeah.
And he was happy with that. And I still get the money back from the shipping claim. So, and he was fine with it, and it all ended up fine. But yeah, it works to just sometimes do a partial refund.
For sure.
So you have that.
Cool.
Valuable tips, guys. Thanks. Awesome. Thanks, Martha.
Yeah, you guys are so welcome. Yeah, sweet. So yeah, any other questions, guys? Throw them in here. We'll love to answer them for you. But these are tips. If you guys follow these tips, it will make your life so much easier on selling on eBay. Yeah, you definitely want to do this so you limit the amount of returns that you get. We don't, like I said, we don't do returns. I can't even tell you the last time that I took a return for something on eBay. And we've had people reach out and try to get us to do returns. Yeah. But it's just something, most of our items are used, so we give them the proper expectations before they buy it. That it is used, it's going to have scratches, scuff, scrapes. It's in the condition it is. We do the pictures, we do the descriptions, we have the terms and conditions. We have everything set in order. Yeah, this isn't our first rodeo. We've been doing this for so many years that we have everything set in order that typically, if somebody does, try to get a refund back, we have it ironclad, everything set up. So
you did have the one returned to you, and they sent him the refund, and then it was returned not as just like the TACX.
Yep, you're right.
The TACX was returned. We accepted the return because, and then we got it, and he had torn it all apart, and it was damaged. So we told eBay, and then eBay took the money back from him. So it said you returned a damaged item.
Exactly. He returned it missing parts, and that's how we took it. But the whole part, I think he said it was not as described. If you get somebody that says not as described,
that's the biggest,
it's the hardest one to fight. And a lot of times we can, because I just had another one also that told us one of the items we sold wasn't working when he got it. And I listed it as for parts or repair. And I put in it that I plugged it in and it powered on for 1 second and then it died or stopped. And 100% accurate with all that we told him. But he had, he thought it was going to work for some strange reason. And yeah, we got eBay to take it off right there. We didn't have to do anything with it. But the TACX, we did take a return back. I don't remember. I argued with him and I couldn't get him to do it. Yeah. But then when we did get it back, it wasn't the same way that we sent it to him. Damaged. So eBay made us fill out an affidavit.
But we have pictures of the whole thing.
Exactly.
So, going into it. So that definitely helps.
So
Bo said, I just processed a return on some shoes that didn't fit the buyer, and the process was different than before. I had to manually go in and find the listing to relist it. Are you on managed payments too? Has that all changed?
That might be the difference.
Some things might be different now. So, and we're still navigating all that too. I don't even know where partial refund would go, because normally you do that in PayPal. So we haven't had to do a partial refund with managed payments yet. So
no, you're not on managed payments.
No, I'm not yet. You are.
Yeah.
So
no, I don't know how that's going to work either.
I mean, you can do it, but we have to figure out how to do that on managed payments. So
and we don't do it a lot, but like I said,
we'll find out.
Yeah, if it happens to us, then we'll keep you guys posted with that for sure.
Renee said I've offered to give half the refund. If you hit the issue refund button, does it give me an option to go how much to refund? It does in PayPal. So in PayPal, you can issue a refund and then it says how much, and you can enter in the actual number. But
if you're in managed payments, that's what we're saying. Yeah, we don't know. It might be a little bit different because managed payments doesn't have a bank account for you. They're processing it every single day to where they're holding on to it. Typically, if you do have somebody that opens a case, they're going to hold that money anyways if it hasn't got deposited into your bank account yet. They're going to hold that money once the case opens. The full amount, they're not going to deposit it into your account until you resolve the case. And at that point, Yeah, you probably will. That's going to go through eBay's case where you're going back and forth with the buyer and eBay on that. Once you reach an agreement or eBay makes a decision on it, that's where they're going to refund the buyer half of it and then put the rest into your account. That's typically how I would think it would work, but we haven't personally done that yet.
Yeah, she said on managed payments question about.
Yeah,
so,
that's it.
We'll have to dig. I'll dig into that. I'm gonna write a note.
And Bo's on managed payments too. So
he said it's changed every time for the last few years returns. So okay.
I'm sure they're still working the bugs out. They're going to be working them out for a year.
I know. They're still getting people on there.
Yeah.
So I'll write that out. Managed payments, partial refund.
Awesome. Okay. What else you got?
Langston said he was Terrence. Hey, Terrence. And he said, would it be possible to get an example of your terms and conditions? We actually have them in the course. And they should be, I know you're in the group, so they should be in the file section in our group. So you can check that out.
You got full access to it. If you're inside the course, you got full access to that. Jump into it. Copy and paste. Take out what you don't like.
Yeah, you can totally make them to you. You know, just use us as a.
We give you permission. Take them. Take them.
So, but you should be able to find them in the file section of the Facebook group or in the course. So
awesome. Well, it's a short one tonight, guys. If you guys don't have any more questions, we'll jump off here and plan on jumping back in on next Monday. Jump on here and we'll do it again, guys. Hopefully, like I said, you guys enjoy this. Melissa and I love giving you guys this information. Hopefully you enjoy it.
Yeah.
Cool.
Awesome. You guys have a good night.
Awesome. You guys rock. We'll talk to you next week and we'll see you soon.
All right.
See ya.
Bye.